What is up, you guys? Competent Gamer here, bringing you back another video. This is episode 9 to my LSPDFR installation tutorial series. Today, I'm going to be showing you how to replace the vanilla SWAT Ped with a more realistic looking SWAT unit, and along with the vanilla Riot SWAT van with a Lenco Bearcat. That way, it gives your SWAT units in game a much more realistic, a much more modern look than the vanilla game offers. As always, quick little disclaimer before I get into the video. I had nothing to do with the creation of either of these mods that I'm going to be showing you how to install, with the exception, however, of this texture pack, this BCSO texture pack that was heavily inspired by another texture pack made by user Rulge. I'll give credit to that later when we actually see that. But outside of this texture pack, I had nothing to do with the creation of either of these mods. I'm just showing you how to install them. Now, as you see here, I've got them downloaded here on my desktop, so of course I'm going to be showing you where to get these. So if we open up our browser here to lspdfr.com, the SWAT Ped that I'm going to be replacing with today is the generic SWAT Ped by Hanako. There are several other, dozens of other SWAT Peds, SWAT Ped mods available both on LSPDFR and GTA5mods.com. You can use whichever one you want. I'm sure the installation path is the same, but this is the one that I'm going to be going with today, just because I like the look and feel of this SWAT Ped, and also, thanks to Hanako, one of the greatest mod creators on this platform, offers multiple liveries. So you got some Los Santos units here, you have Los Angeles if you want to go for a real LA style patrol here, and there's also some for like Los Angeles County, FBI, ATF. It's just, there's a lot of customizations, and I really love having that option. So once again, thank you Hanako for these files. It's a great mod. Once we get here, once you're going to download this file, you're going to click on this blue download this file link. Let that download down to your downloads folder, and we'll move on to the next one. The next mod that we're going to be downloading here is the Lenco variation by Cosmo. And again, like the generic SWAT Ped mod, there are dozens upon dozens of Lenco Bearcat mods available both on LSPDFR and GTA5mods.com. However, the reason why I chose this one in particular, aside from it just looking absolutely like a beast, is this piece right here. 10 fully functioning seats. Now, most Bearcat mods only allow 4 to 6 passengers, whereas this mod doesn't sacrifice any of them. So I'm gonna go ahead and click on this blue download this file, let that go into your downloads folder, and while that's downloading, I'm just gonna give credit where credit's due. The reason why I made the BCSO texture pack is because I was very heavily inspired by user Rulge here, who made the Lenco Bearcat that comes with the Los Santos Police SWAT livery, as well as the Blaine County Sheriff's livery. And this right here, just, I really love the look of it, and I was just inspired with it. I was just like, what if, using Bejo Ejo's ultimate backup, if I call SWAT in the city, I get a Los Santos van, but if I call SWAT in Blaine County, I get a Blaine County van. And I really wanted to incorporate that into my game. Now, I didn't just copy and paste his or this user's texture. I just made my own that was very heavily inspired by it, and you'll see that later in game. And that one's just sitting on my desktop, but just wanted to give credit where credit's due. So once you have both of these mods downloaded, go ahead and move them onto your desktop, and we can start with the installation. So first thing we got right here is the generic SWAT Ped mod by Hanako. Let's go ahead and open that up, and at the same time, let's open up OpenIV for GTA 5, of course, on the Windows. And once that's opened up, we can go in here, move this to the side, and let's click on this readme.txt document here. So if you open up here, just a little overview, this mod replaces the vanilla SWAT Ped with a more modern and realistic SWAT Ped. We already saw in the videos what that kind of looks like. And this is the mod pathway this is the pathway that we're going to be installing this mod into. So if we click on our mods folder, instead of installing these files to update or x64, we're going to be installing this to x64e. Now, if you don't have this in your mods folder, that's okay. I'm going to show you where to get this. So if we move on over here to our shortcut for the GTA 5 main directory, here we are. You'll remember that at the very beginning of this installation tutorial series, I told you that when you make your mods folder, you should copy update and x64. Along with that, in order to get the x64e file here, you're going to scroll all the way down to these x64 subtypes, click on x64e, copy, and paste it into your mods folder. It may take a couple of seconds, maybe a couple of minutes, but once that's done, you'll have it available here in your mods folder in OpenIV. So now we can continue on with the pathway. Clicking on x64E, we click on Models, CD Images, and we're going to stop right here just because this is where it says we're going to be replacing all the files into this location, but that's not quite true. If we go here, click on Files, and we go to Mods, x64E Models, CD Images, there are two things right here, Component Peds SMY and Ped Props. We're going to be installing files to both of these locations. So let's get started. The first thing that we're going to do before we actually replace any files is that we're going to go over here to optional files, or optional colors, my apologies, and we're just going to choose which one we want. So which kind of ped do we want to install to our game? By default, this is going to be you're going to be installing the Los Santos black SWAT ped, but you can also install the FIB one, or the FBI ped, the navy blue Los Angeles SWAT, and then the Ranger Green Los Angeles County SWAT. Now, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to leave it by default. I'm going to install the Los Santos Black SWAT. So it's going to go ahead and click go back this way. This is it by default. This is set to the black version. So we're going to go ahead and click on Ped Props. And before we do anything, we're going to go ahead and back up these files. Now, as you see here in this folder that I have listed as SWAT Ped Backups, I've already got these files here backed up, both in the component peds and the ped props. I already have these files backed up. And you'll also notice here that I have these files for DW service backed up, and I'll show you why I did that in just a second. So once you have all these files backed up, go ahead and click on Edit Mode, and then just drag and drop. Let's get out of Edit Mode right here. Clear our search filter. And let's go back up to CD Images, and let's click on SMY. Let's filter for SWAT. Again, back up those files. And we're going to replace with the SMY SWAT. Click on Edit Mode. And this is going to replace the vanilla SWAT ped with the Los Santos black uniform ped from Hanako's pack. And there we go. We've successfully replaced them. Now, the question you might be asking yourself is, why do I have the DW service objects backed up? And the reason for that is because since we're installing the SMY ped, there's no variation in color, meaning that if we call a SWAT unit anywhere around across the map, we're going to get Los Santos SWAT, and I don't really want that. What I'm going to do instead is, let me pull up this image here, is similar to the Lenco Bearcat, where I'm going to make it so that Los Santos Police Department spawns in Los Santos, and I'm going to get the Blaine County Sheriff van to spawn in Blaine County. I'm going to do the same thing for the generic SWAT ped. So if we go over here to 5M, where we have all the peds in the game, this is the default ped that we replaced here for for Los Santos. It's the SMY SWAT with 1 prop and 4 components. I'm also going to be replacing this ped over here, the DW Service 1, which also has 1 prop and 4 components, with the Ranger Green color, or the Ranger Green variation of Hanako's generic SWAT ped, so that I can call this in our ultimate backup and have both Los Santos SWAT team and a Blaine County Service SWAT team. So let me show you what I mean by that. So we're going to go ahead over here, and let's just make ourselves a little folder. Let's call it Blaine County SWAT. So now that we have that folder opened up here, just transfer all of these files here along with the ped props. And let's back up a little bit. And then we're going to replace the black color that's on by default with the Ranger Green color for Blaine County. And all we have to do is just get rid of this YTD file, and instead we're going to use this one. Now, of course, if we install these files as is, we're just going to replace the same ped that we just finished replacing. So we're going to end up overwriting the Los Santos SWAT with the Blaine County SWAT. So we're just going to go ahead and rename these to the ped that we're going to replace instead. So if we open this back up here, initially we replaced this one, the SMY SWAT 01. Now we're going to replace the SMY DW Service 01. So we're just going to rename all of these files to SMY DW Service 01. Okay, now that we have all of these files renamed, let's go ahead and make a search for the DW service. Now you'll notice there's DW service 1 and 2. Of course, we know that here because we have both the DW service 1 and 2. So it really doesn't matter which one you replace. You can replace either 1 or 2. It doesn't really matter. And we're just going to go ahead and transfer these files for DW service 1. So let's go ahead and just 01. Go ahead and back up those files, and then we're going to replace all of these with the exception of the underscore p's. Toss them in there. Clear our search filter. Go to ped props. Type in DW service underscore 01. Again, back up these files, and then just transfer both of these in there. And now we have successfully replaced both the Los Santos, both the SMY SWAT and the SMY DW service with 2 different SWAT peds. So now we have the Los Santos SWAT team and the Los Angeles County SWAT, which is we're going to be using for the Blaine County Sheriff SWAT. Okay, now for the Lenco Bearcat, there is a lot in this video, or a lot in this zip file, and it's very important that we install everything precisely right in order to get this thing to work. So let's go ahead and open up the readme.txt file. So here's where we have everything here. We have where we're going to be installing the vehicle files, we're going to be installing the meta, the handling meta, the vehicle layouts meta, and all this different stuff. So let's take this one at a time. Vehicle files, we're going to put them in this location. We're not going to be putting them in patch day 8 and G, we're going to be putting them in the latest patch day. So let's just start with that. Go ahead and click on mods, update, x64, DLC packs, patch day 24, DLC, x64, levels, GTA 5, and vehicles.rpf. Now we don't have to make a backup of the Riot van because the Riot files aren't here. But let's go ahead and just take these vehicle files, and we have an option of going either for the Liberty light bar or the Argent light bar. I'm going to go for the Liberty one. Click on edit mode, and I'm going to go ahead and transfer those files in there. And then we're also going to transfer in our riot.ytd file. Okay, now that we installed the vehicle files, let's go ahead and go back into the readme.txt and let's see what's next. So after vehicle files, it's the vehicles.meta file. So we're just going to be going into this pathway here. Let's go ahead and follow that. We're going to go ahead on mods, update, update RPF, common, data, levels, and then GTA 5. If we move on over here to the vehicles.meta file, we can either replace the entire vehicles.meta file, or we can just place in the specific text for the Riot van. Now I have already heavily modified the vehicles.meta file with previous vehicle mods, so I'm not going to replace the entire thing. What I'm going to do instead is I'm going to put this specific line in. So let's just go ahead and drag this vehicles.meta file out of here, and let's go ahead and edit it with Notepad++. And as you see here, I've already got this pulled up here. So what you want to do is just hit Control F and do a search for the Riot until you get here, and then we're just going to copy and paste this entire thing so that we, in case anything gets messed up in the installation, we always have the original to default on. That's the entire thing right there. Let's go ahead and hit copy, and then let's just throw this in here. We'll make a new text document for original Riot meta, vehicle meta, and then we can just go ahead and paste that in here. Hit on file, save, and now that we have the original meta file backed up, we can go ahead and open up this line text here. We can go ahead and copy all of this, copy it, and paste. So now we've replaced this entire thing here with the new meta file. Now another thing that we want to do is go here to flags. Now this is how we allow multiple liveries to exist on a vehicle. By default, the Riot van doesn't have this argument right here, flag has livery. Now we need to make sure that this is here so that when we install another texture for the Bearcat, that it actually works. Now, of course, this is already provided here for us, so we don't have to do that. All we have to do is just hit File, Save, exit out of here, and then just drag this back in there. And there we go. Okay, back into the README text. The next thing is the handling meta. It's going to be over here in update RPF common data. There's the handling meta. Just toss this out here as well. Let's find our handling meta. And this is the text that we're going to be copying and pasting. And then just before we do this, let's make a backup. Alright, after having made the change to the handling.meta and then putting that back into OpenIV, we can move on to the next step, which is the VEHICLELAYOUTS.META. And this is going to be in the same area here, data. We just have to go into AI. And then we're looking for the vehicle layouts. There it is. And we just need to, let's see, VEHICLELAYOUTS.META. See what the README says. Okay, yeah, it says it's unlikely you have a modified version. I don't, so we're all fine here. We're just gonna go ahead and get the just make a backup of this. Let's just go ahead and toss that in there. And then turn on edit mode, VEHICLELAYOUTS.META, and then just drag that in there. Now, last but not least is the extra textures. This just shows here that if we want to add additional textures, we just need to have it. We just need to have the textures named the same thing, but just have multiple numbers. So by default, we have one that's called Bearcat Sign 1, and then we need to have one that's called Bearcat Sign 2. Now, the only way this is gonna work to have multiple liveries is that if we have that flag has livery in the vehicle's meta, which we already checked that we do in fact have that. So we're all good on that end. So what we're gonna do is let's just go ahead and close out of this and take this texture that I made here. We're going to rename this to Bearcat underscore sign underscore 2.png. And then we're going to go back over here where that texture is. So we're going to go to update. Basically, we're going to go to the exact same pathway where we put the vehicle in the first place. And then once we're here, let's go ahead and just type in Riot. And then for the texture dictionary, we have one that's called Bearcat underscore sign underscore 1. The next texture is going to be Bearcat underscore sign underscore 2. So let's go ahead and toss that in there. Hit OK. And now we have two textures, one for Los Angeles and one for Blaine County. Let's go ahead and hit on save. It might take a minute. It might say that it's crashing, but it's fine. And once both of those, once this file closes down and this is perfectly saved, we can go ahead and game and take a look at both of our SWAT Peds and our new Lenco Bearcat vehicle. So I'll see you guys when we get in the game. Okay, now that we're here in game in Sandy Shores with Franklin, let's go ahead and open up our trainer menu. And let's go to model spawning so we can spawn in both of our Peds. So let's go for SMY. SWAT 1, and there we go. There's our Los Santos SWAT tactical unit. And then if we move on this way towards SMYDW service 01, there's our Los Santos County Sheriff SWAT unit. Now let's go ahead and go to vehicle spawning and spawn in the Riot. By default, it should spawn in as the Los Angeles Bearcat. There it is. And then if we go into the vehicles menu, for the vehicle options menu, and go down to the liveries, we see in the top left, or in the second column, that we have two options available: the Los Angeles livery and the Blaine County Sheriff's livery. Alright everybody, and with that out of the way, hopefully all of your files have been successfully installed for both the SWAT Ped and for the Lenco Bearcat. Hopefully you understood how to install the different color variations of the Ped into 2 different locations, and how to set up the Lenco Bearcat so that you can have multiple liveries. So you can have both a Los Angeles SWAT unit and a BCSO SWAT unit. So hopefully all of that made sense. If there was any moment where you were confused, or if you installed something and it didn't work out, go ahead, leave a comment, let me know, and I'll try to help you as best you can. If you want to make a request for either like how to make the texture for this, the BCSO texture for the Bearcat that you see right behind you, or if you just want it, go ahead and leave me a comment. I'll think about whether or not I'll release it, or if I'll just make a video showing how I did that. But of course, just any questions, go ahead, leave them. If you any confusions, leave some comments down below, and I'll try to help you as quickly as I can. If you like the video, go ahead, drop a like. It really means a lot to me. I love seeing your likes, your comments. I love seeing I love engaging with the community. I love showing people how to play this game, how to mod this game, and I like showing show people how to fix their problems with this game. So leave your likes, leave your comments. Please, it really does mean a lot to me. Subscribe if you're new to the channel. As always, I'm going to be trying to maintain a weekly schedule of uploads. I'm really trying to maintain that, so hopefully you guys appreciate that. And if you're new, go ahead and hit that notification bell so you get notified when I upload new content. This has been Competent Gamer. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care, and bye-bye.